Hello, I'm Chuck Hughes, President, CEO of the Gary Chamber of Commerce, and I'd like to welcome you to Spotlight on Business. And ladies and gentlemen, youth will be served this program because our Spotlight today has a very fresh approach. In fact, we have a freshman, Leah Hughes, and we have an eighth grader, Leah Hughes. Welcome, young ladies, to the program.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
You know, this has never been done before. This is a novel approach, but it was thought that why not talk to someone who can share and give insight through the eyes of the very young people that we talk about, we care about, and we always want to see successful. So, ladies, that's why you're here. And so, for the benefit of our audience, let's learn a little bit about you. Leia, what grade are you? And just tell us how you feel about school and what grade are you in, and give us some idea about your academic environment.
Hi, my name is Leah Hughes. I'm in ninth grade. And as of right now, I'm in virtual learning. I hope it doesn't last that long, but I'm coping with it. And I'm still managing to succeed in school, and my grades are still good.
And Niah, tell us about your academic experience at such a tender young age of an eighth grader.
Hi, my name is Leah Hughes. I'm in eighth grade. I'm also in virtual learning. I think that for some people, virtual learning is a good thing, like they thrive through it. But if you're a very hands-on person, like I am, it can be harder for virtual because you're not with the teacher in person. So I guess I can get used to it, but I'm going to enjoy it eventually.
You know, I want to ask a question. It may be fair or it may be unfair because at such a tender age. What are your favorite subjects and what do you aspire to be, Leia, when you graduate, let's say, or go through the whole process to graduation?
As of right now, my favorite subject has to be math. It can be challenging, but I still enjoy it because it's always come as a natural thing to me. And when I grow up, I want to be an investor, a stock market investor, because for me it's the way of the future, and that's what we rely on. The world crashes without it.
Listen, you say you enjoy math. Now, a person like me, that's a foreign language. I could not do anything with math, and you're being very modest. I talked to your mother and found out that you finished in the top 1% of the nation in math. Do you realize that's quite an accomplishment?
Yes.
Niah, I'm sure that you're sitting over there ready to tell us about what your favorite subjects are and what it is likely you hope to do when you contribute or go through the whole school process.
Well, I have to say math is also my favorite subject because I think it's there's only one solution to the problem in a math problem, and it's there's no, either it's similar to that or it's close enough. It's just right or wrong. And I guess for me, that's an easy thing because there's not a lot of confusion. And when I get older, I probably want to become a immigration lawyer because I see a lot of immigrants trying to come into this country in particular, and they're struggling with it. And I guess I just want to help people be able to get a green card or visa or whatever they need so that they can be safe in this country because that's what they deserve.
You know, I'm just amazed at the fact that you guys have mapped it out this early, this soon, in terms of what you want to do. Leia, let's go back to you and the math, because math certainly was not one of my favorite subjects in school, and just the fact that you have the acumen and the love for math, and you're so accomplished at it. You mentioned the stock market. Much of what's taking place right now in our country, people are talking about the economy. They're saying how the economy is either good or bad, or how the market is up or down or whatever. And you referred to the importance of it. From a financial standpoint, What would you like to see happen to people, to the average person, in terms of their ability to have a good job, make money, do those kinds of things? What's your vision in that regard?
I wish you could get to a point where everyone in America is financially stable. You know, we don't have any poor people or people below middle class. Everyone's either middle class or higher. And I wish it could be like where no one is treated differently based on their income or, you know, their class. And yeah, everyone is doing successful.
Now, Niah, you talked about being a lawyer. Now, you understand that there's a lot of social activism. There's a lot going on in this country right now. And in terms of being a lawyer, representing victims of police brutality, representing folks who've been discriminated against. Now, I think you understand that as a lawyer, even you'll get folks will be really pointing the finger at you because you're defending those folks or whatever. Now, what I want you to do is, I know you want to expound on that, but I want you to just think about that for a moment, because I don't want to interrupt that wonderful thought that I'm sure is going to come from you. Ladies, I want to say this, that again, I mentioned this at the top of the show, that this is a unique show. It hadn't been done before, to have people who are at your age but having the kind of wisdom and knowledge and intelligence that you have. And I can't say enough about having you here on the show. This first segment has just flown by so fast that I think our viewers will even be interested in hearing more of your insights. You're incredible, young ladies. You're doing a great job. And folks, don't turn that dial, because you won't want to miss another utterance of these young ladies. We'll be right back.
When I told my friends I wanted to become an astronaut, they laughed and called me a space cadet. Fortunately, my parents took me seriously. They enrolled me in Gary Community Schools, where I had STEM summer camp, dual credit classes, and certified teachers. Now, I'm a Lilly Scholar, and my folks are all over the moon.
Gary Schools. Strong. Resilient. Built for education.
Hello again, I'm your host, Chuck Hughes, President and CEO of the Gary Chamber of Commerce, and we're welcoming you back to Spotlight on Business. Before the break, Niah, I had posed a question to you. You want to be a lawyer. We talked about all of the social activism that's taking place, the visibility of these lawyers, the fact that these lawyers are targets of the media and targets of antagonistic groups or whatever. So tell us that you're sure you want to do that, and tell us why you want to do that.
I feel that I'm definitely comfortable in becoming a lawyer and being in that field when I'm older, because I guess I like helping people, but also I do have a good urge of proving my point and, you know, stating what I believe in. And I think that if I do become a lawyer when I'm older, I can definitely have that vice or like put that into my work. And also, there are so many people who have not received justice, whether it's a family member or themselves, and there are too many people who are getting the punishment for a crime they didn't commit. Even with immigration, people aren't able to enter a country, this country in particular, and it's not fair, because everyone should have a voice, whether you are guilty or not. Everyone should have an opinion, and it doesn't matter what skin color, how rich you are, what your religious beliefs are. Everyone should have an opinion, even lawyers. So I think that me being a lawyer and socially active. I think that's a good thing, especially since, I'm a female and African American, and that's just something I really think I would enjoy.
Well, Niah, let's expound a little bit more on that. And why don't you tell the viewers the kinds of social active experiences you've had, be it marches or meeting key individuals in the nation, and how that could have some positive impact rather on your direction and your desire to want to be a lawyer. Share with us some of the things that you participated in and some of the key individuals that you've met.
Well, I think the first march I had ever been to, I think it was the Women's March. I was maybe like 7 or something, and just being there like with everyone chanting and marching, it was kind of blurred out since I was so young, but I think I really enjoyed there were like women everywhere and such an empowering community and like environment. And I think that's when I was kind of like, I like this. And I think I'm gonna wanna take part in this when I'm older. And meeting people like Jimmy Carter and Hillary Clinton, I think it's something that not everyone gets to experience. And I feel like I want it to be a part of that area, and community. I want to be a part of the political community more with helping people, not, the messy part. But yes, I think those things, like meeting people in marches, Black Lives Matter rallies, those have influenced a lot of different reasons and ideas that have made me want to push that feeling of helping and being a lawyer more.
Now, Leia, rather, you were part of the same experiences. You guys are looking at it from a different angle. You're going from the financial angle. So, are you going to be willing to bail your sister out of jail when she get arrested for protesting? Because you're going to be handling the money.
Yes, I will say that, people do notice the difference when it comes to profits, when there's rallies, and from seeing people on the streets having to pour milk in their eyes from getting tear gassed and things like that. To, sometimes companies will use what's going on at the time to profit, they might have a Black Lives Matter special or things like that. In my opinion, I don't think that might be right, profiting off of, other people's struggles. And I think we should use what we have to give back to our communities.
Now, Leia, let me ask you this as well. Clearly, there's an indication that you two have got a clear picture of what you need to do, what society requests or whatever. Leia, what kind of advice would you give to your fellow teens about being a part of the process or entering into or thinking financially about financial independence and stability? Any advice you could give to your peers?
2 years from now, those $300 shoes are going to seem so ugly.
So be wise in terms of your investment.
Your spending.
Yeah. Well, do you think most young people actually can gather that? Or is that something that you have to just constantly share with them and hope that they get the message?
I think you have to look back at the past, what you might have thought was cute when you were younger, what was trendy, and think about, I could have saved that money for this, what I need right now, and things like that.
Okay. Well, ladies, when we get into our next segment, we're going to talk more about what's going on in the world today, because I hate to confess this. I guess I have to. The viewers know I hate to say this, but I'm sitting here listening to you all, and I'm learning I'm actually being educated. Could you imagine I'm being educated by a freshman in high school and an eighth grader in high school? But that just goes to prove that your voices need to be heard and wisdom can come in any age and any size. So when we come back, you're going to share some more of that, okay? All right, we'll be back in a moment.
Don't tell anybody, but I'm a bookworm. I'm one of those very ambitious, highly motivated, overachievers you've heard about. When I enrolled in Gary Community Schools, I thought I'd be all alone. Sort of like an anomaly or a unicorn. Turns out, that wasn't true at all. There's lots of us here.
Gary Schools. Strong, resilient, built for education.
It's gross. I don't really want to talk about it.
She didn't want to at first, but I mean, it's no big deal. Everybody does it.
I was ready, totally ready, because we had been practicing this dance for weeks.
He was supposed to take this girl to this dance, but
I sprained my ankle at track practice.
I hate sharing anything personal. It's so disgusting.
For the dance, I let her wear my shoes and she hated it, but I thought she looked great in them.
he could barely even walk.
I ended up taking some pills for my pain.
Yeah, they were my mom's, but
It didn't go well.
If it's not yours,
If it's not yours,
if it's not yours,
Hey you,
don't take it.
don't take it.
don't take it.
don't take it. You won't believe what happened next.
And we're back, folks, on Spotlight on Business. And let me reintroduce to you my outstanding guests. To my immediate left, we have Leah Hughes. Good having you here. And to her left, we have Leah Hughes. And what I want to do, Niah, is ask you this. We're gonna transition now into American politics, the political scene that we're seeing unfolding before our very eyes. What is your perspective?
I believe that American politics can be very messy. I think sometimes they're not always about helping people. When it comes to like elections, it's usually about, of course, the people who are running. They're going against each other, going at each other. And I guess that's what they're supposed to do if you want to win. But on like CNN and and ABC News, all these news channels, usually it's about what goes on in the world, but I think politics are mainly about like the higher leaders and like, whether it's the governor or mayor or president. I think that people can try and focus on, one piece of politics, whether it's like an election, but they're not able to like get other parts of it because there are no other like good beneficial things, in my opinion. So when I said earlier that I want to be a lawyer, I think that of course I'm going to be involved in politics, but I think it should be focused more on the helping people and not going against another person.
Now, Leah, you're going on the financial part of this, and your sister is totally ingrained in the political and the social part of it. What are your thoughts, though? You have to have some thoughts, even if it relates to the financial aspect of it, or you have or politics. What's your position on the current political climate?
There's definitely a time period in the election where it's all about money. How much money was donated, how much you spent. And, I think it becomes who has the most power. And, you know, there's the little guy and there's the bigger guy. Who has more money, who has less? And people think that they have more money, so they'll be able to help us better. I don't see the people that are running using that money to donate back. I don't even know where the money goes after. I don't think a campaign costs that much, millions of dollars. Overall, I think politics needs to be more about the people, and the only time people are involved is when it comes to voting.
Now, Leah, you realize you have some very strong views, and it's often said that people who are interested in changing the process become involved in the process. I'm not trying to push you in any direction, but and Niah's over there smiling. You guys both might be in that arena to some extent and trying to make positive change. Do you think that's a possibility?
Yes.
See there? I think your sister is converting you. All right, now here's the deal. You guys have imparted a ton of information, and just been impressed with your knowledge of the issues, both current and parts of your past. Now, as adults, we don't have all the answers. We don't know everything. So, Leah, I'm gonna give this one to you. What would be your message to adults that act like children often? But what message does that send? What perception do you get as a young person watching adults perform like children?
I would say that we're watching you. We're watching the example that you set. And we know to do better, but when you try to give us advice and we see you acting this way, it doesn't make sense in our heads. Because yeah, you come before us and you did set a great example, and now we want to do better and we want to thrive, whether it's electronics, and things like that. And you know, the way the economy changes, we have a totally different mindset than the generation before us, and we have to agree with each other that things are going to change. And we try to let older people know that, okay, we would like it if you acted better this way. And I think there's a loss of communication.
All right, Niah, I know you are looking for the opportunity to beat us up. I mean, inform us as well. So what are your thoughts about lessons to be learned by adults through the eyes of younger people?
I would mainly just say that adults need to listen. A lot of older people that are like, you know, in other generations, maybe like born in the 40s or 60s, they think children are supposed to be seen and not heard. Well, I think that if they listen to what we have to say, maybe they'll realize that we do have similar ideas and values, and that we have the same voice. We are still fighting for the same thing, and you know, trying to be part of the same movement. So yeah.
You know, you ladies are incredible. I have not had better guests ever on this program. It's been a delight. I want to thank you. For Leah Hughes, Niah Hughes, I'm Chuck Hughes saying, wow, so long everybody.
WSTG TV. Hello, my name is Dr. Paige McNulty. I'm the manager for the Gary Community School Corporation, and I am pleased to be joined today with the Jackson 5 family members, Tito and Marlon Jackson.
Hi,
how are you? Thanks for being here today.
Not only are we members of the world-famous Jackson 5, but we are proud products of the Gary schools.
Growing up in Gary, our school system afforded great opportunities from academics to extracurricular activities.
And today is no different. This is why we encourage you to enroll your child in the Gary schools today.
For more information, please call 219-881-5466 or visit garyschools.org. And please remember, enroll in Gary Schools today.
Yes,
right.
Definitely enroll.
Gary Schools.
Strong, resilient.
Built for education.